enjoy the show, as I say.
One slide.
Okay, crack on, Stephen.
Okay, good evening, folks. Thanks for dialing in for what I hope is an informative session around the coaching program in the club. Over the next 20 minutes or so, I hope to give you a fair bit of information regarding the junior and senior coaching programs, with a particular emphasis on the role of parents in the development of young tennis players. And as Owen said, this presentation will be, we're hoping to have it emailed to all members. Am I correct in saying that?
You are 100% correct.
Okay, thanks. Now, yes, now, in Monkstown, we're very fortunate to be part of the leading tennis clubs in the country. Not just that, Monkstown is the oldest tennis club in the country. And in recent years, we've hit capacity with our membership numbers, and we're now at a point where there's a waiting list for members. Also, we're in good shape. In 2018, we became only the 6th tennis club in Ireland to be awarded a gold club mark status by Tennis Ireland. And in the summer of 2019, we hosted the Senior Interprovincial Championships for the first time. And that was a big event because the Interprovincials is an annual event, obviously with 4 provinces, but it was at a bit of a crossroads at the time where many of the best players were choosing not to participate. And after a meeting between the various branches of Tennis Ireland, Monkstown was chosen as the club to hopefully instill a new feeling of importance and credibility to the Interpros. And sure enough, all the best players took part. Everybody bought into it, and a lot of the juniors from Monkstown boys and girls acted as ball boys and ball girls. So it was a very, very successful event, and the reputation of the club was further enhanced by it. Now, we've a very active social program also in the club, and for obvious reasons, we've been unable to. It hasn't been unable to be mobilised in recent months, but hopefully we'll be back to normal before long. Now, the coaching program itself has been in place for nearly 30 years, and it's rightly regarded as one of the best club programs in the country. And all you have to do is look at the roster of players that represented Monkstown in the recent leagues to see the sort of high level of players that have come out of our system. So there was, as you can see here, Olympic players who played in the Olympic Games, Davis Cup and Fed Cup, and the Davis Cup and Federation Cup are the men's and ladies international tennis events. We had national champions, and we had, as you see, US collegiate tennis players in with scholarship in the States. So it's great that they showed loyalty to the club, and they all act as an inspiration to the junior members. Now, coaching, I lead the coaching team of the club, and I'm joined by Michael McMahon, Adrian Cusack, and Karen McKenna in providing the coaching to our members. I'm a level 3 coach. Michael's a level 2 coach. Adrian and Karen are level 1 coaches. And just to give you context on the percentage of each level in the country, there's roughly 10% of, there's about 200 tennis coaches in the country, roughly 10% are level 3 coaches, about 25% are level 2, and around 65 are level 1. So we're, as a club, we're very well catered for in relation to all levels of coach. So that's very positive. Now, yeah, the junior program here in the club is the centerpiece, I feel, of our coaching output. There's roughly 200 children involved over the course of a year. We've a very active and motivated junior membership. And again, it's our job as coaches to make sure they're prepared, focused, and confident in their tennis activities, I believe. And again, most importantly, I feel that we want to make sure that they're happy in their tennis. And as you see, they're the sort of high level achievements of our juniors over the last a number of years. So the National Championships is the annual event in Fitzwilliam Tennis Club, whereby the top 32 players in each age group from under 12 to under 18 compete. The international, there's only one real international event, and that's called the Four Nations, which takes place in September, and only 2 players in each age group, under 12, 14, 18 and senior, are selected. So we've had 5 junior internationals. And the bottom point there is, as well as squad training here in the club, there's also provincial squad training for the players who are selected by Leinster squad. We have 5 juniors who are currently training with the Leinster squad. So it's all a positive for the future. Again, I feel the junior program should reflect the ethos of the club, which is one of inclusivity, respect, and fun. And the reputation and perception of Monkstown is that of a welcoming, a friendly, and a happy place. And having travelled all around the country and afar for tennis-related activities, that's the message I get from Belfast Boat Club down to Rushbrook Tennis Club in Cove. So it's imperative that we maintain that profile that we have, because it's a very positive one at the moment, and I think we should all be very proud of it. Now, I've mentioned something here at the end called success, and with that I don't mean the success of the high performance players. I mean the success of everybody when they play tennis, especially those when they start off. So tennis is a notoriously difficult game, and one of the reasons that many people stop playing is because of its difficulty. So if I address this mainly to parents, if you're hitting with your child, make sure that they achieve some sort of success in the hitting in the 20 minutes to half an hour that you play with them. And that could be something like they're moving their feet in between shots, they're calling bounce when the ball bounces, they're calling a hit when they hit the ball. So if you have specific measures like that, there's always a way that you can guarantee success. And if the child is successful, they're more likely to continue with the sport. All right, so that's a couple of ideas. And now to ensure success, as I'm sure you all know, there's different colored and types of pressure balls that we play with, red, orange, green, and yellow. So it's, again, important. I'd address this to parents and coaches. It's important that we use the correct balls with the juniors to enable success. And it's one of the issues in tennis is that we move on from one ball to the next too quickly. So if young Mary or young Johnny is playing on red ball, they stay on red ball until they're able to rally, serve, play a point, and are sound technically. When they're able to achieve all of those things, then they move on to the next ball, not because of their height or their age. Or I hope you understand that. So there might be a 6-year-old who's good enough to be playing green ball. There might be a 12-year-old who's better off hitting with red or orange ball. So until they're competent with the the particular ball, they should stay on it, because in the long run they'll be more technically proficient. So that's a very, very important point for all parents, I believe. And here's a sort of breakdown of, again, the balls, but also the court dimensions, the size racket, because it's not, and the it's not mentioned here, but the height of the net, the net restriction. So if you're using the red ball, it's basically, the court is basically the 2 service boxes. If we're using the orange ball, it's slightly bigger than that. The green ball could be a full court, and yellow ball, of course. And again, I think we're all fairly au fait with this, but to use the correct size tennis racket, but also the correct dimensions of the court, which include the height of the net. So if you're playing with your 6, 7-year-olds and you're playing with a red or an orange ball, for example, and you're playing in a modified court, make sure the net is also lowered, so that it's the correct size. All right, and that will help in the best possible way. Thank you. We have. I'll start with a little story here in relation to the role of parents. I was at a coaching conference a few years ago. There was a Dutch coach called Frank van, I can't pronounce his second name, Frank van Heerenveen, and he's one of the top coaches in the world. He's coached many of the best players in the world, and he gave a presentation, and there was a Q&A afterwards. And one of the questions he was asked was, what type of players do you like coaching the most? Is it professionals? Is it beginners? Is it juniors? Is it adults? Is it guys? Is it girls? And very quickly he said orphans. So it took us a few seconds for it to register, and then it sort of did register with us, and it was an interesting answer. But I know that if Frank had spent most of his coaching career in Monkstown Tennis Club, he wouldn't have had that answer, and his answer would have been different. But it's, again, important to be aware of that, because in an individual sport, there is the tendency to look at things in an illogical way. So I believe that the role of the parent in the club should be to follow what we're just going to have a little look at, the 10 Commandments to the best of their ability. And I think so far we do that. So maybe if we, Nick, and you guys can have a little look at that. And just while you're looking at that, the 2 best players we've produced here over the last few years are Julie Byrne and Conor Gannon. Julie's in her 4th year of a scholarship in Chicago, and Conor is also America bound next September to begin his scholarship at the University of Tennessee. And I contend that the role played by Louise and Brian, Julie's parents, and Karen and Dave, Conor's mum and dad, had a very, very big and positive influence on their tennis journey. So, for example, rather than, I see a lot of parents with their children, they impose rules and regulations on them. You must do tennis this day at this time, and you must do it for this amount of hours. Rather than doing that, Louise and Brian, Karen and Dave were much more into having agreed much more into formulating an agreed plan with the kids, with me. So we came to a common consensus, which definitely had a huge bearing on them as players and also as young adults. And because of that, not only are they 2 of the best players in the country, they're 2 of the most popular players in the country, and that's a huge kudos to their parents for that. So the role of parents in that is massive. Okay, we mentioned briefly, I think, about if you want to play at a good level or improve it all, having some sort of plan and some sort of goal is imperative. So this is a goal setting sheet that you guys can use, both juniors and adults, and it's something personal to you, and it gets the juniors especially to take some form of responsibility for what they're doing. So as you can see, it's broken down into 4 different sections. The dream goal, long-term goal, medium-term, and short-term goal. The short-term goal would be connected to profiling and the technical goals and technical profiling, which we'll get into in a few minutes. So this is a samples goal setting sheet. So a dream goal, that should be the dream goal. I'm sure that's the dream goal for most of us, to play in Wimbledon or to represent our country or to be a professional player. Stick it down in writing. There's an example of a long-term goal, to get a place on my school team, to get on the whatever team at the tennis club, to if I'm a junior, to play in an open tournament. Okay, medium term goals there, to, as you can see, to get a certain place on the ladder, a certain place on the team. And then the short-term goals are more technical goals. So they're all linked. And the technical goals are related to a profile, which, as I said, we'll speak about in a couple of minutes. And there's just a sample player pathway. Now that's a fairly high performance player pathway, but just to explain it, at the bottom again, that's the personal improvement. Could be the short-term goals. The league representation could be more medium, long-term goals. Preparation for open tournaments. Open tournaments are tournaments that are held all around the province and indeed the country, that juniors and adults can take part in. Representative honours would be representing your province, representing your country. So there isn't, as I said, for the juniors, there's only one opportunity to represent your country during the year, and there's only one interpros event, interprovincial series. So it's a big thing to qualify to be selected for your province or for your country. And then higher up the pyramid, you see the US college system. As we've already alluded to, at the moment, there's Julie Byrne is over there. We've had others, the O'Rourke's, David Cullen, and Conor Gannon is heading there next year. And again, above that, Julie and Conor would be looking at playing on the Pro Tour. Here's a sample of what goes on in the club junior-wise during the term, as you can see. So just in simple form, there, you can differentiate between club and squad groups. So the club player would average 1 to 2 hours training per week, while the squad player would average 3 to 8 hours training per week. So again, tennis is a technical sport, and technical sports are all about volume. So it's a simple formula. The guys and the girls who play the most will be the best players. It's as simple as that. All right. So if you guys, you're looking to improve, they just play more. They play more. Now the adult coaching program. Again, as it says there's about 100 members involved at the moment. We're hoping to expand that. And at the moment, these are the groups that are involved. Again, we're actively looking into hopefully procuring more time slots to expand the numbers in this. But just so you know that what these terms are, league coaching would be, there's 3 main leagues during the year. There's Winter League, there's Floodlit League, and there's Summer League. So league coaching takes place in the 6 to 8 weeks in the lead up, and maybe the 4 to 6 weeks during the league campaign itself. Performance Squad is a squad we've been running for a good few years on a Wednesday night, and it's made up of the sort of the guys and from the first and second team, and the girls from the first team. And it's one of the main roles of it is to retain the younger players, the older teenagers and the 20 somethings, and we've managed to do that very well. And again, about 2 weeks ago we had Conor Gannon was down training with us, and we also had Conor Nyland, who was the last Irishman to play in Wimbledon, down training with us. So obviously the reputation of that squad is very high. Now the ladies' morning, there's 2 ladies' morning training sessions going on at the moment, and as I said, we're hoping to expand that to at least 3, because in my view, I'm genuinely very excited about that group of players, because the progress is it can be spectacular, because the girls really want to learn. So I would really encourage as many ladies as possible to get involved there, because the dynamic is very good, and I must say I'm very positive about all those girlies. There's a men's group, that we run on a Thursday evening, and again there's a couple of juniors in it, 17, 18-year-olds. There's a couple of lads who aren't quite so junior, and there's quite a few lads who would have played other sports, hurling, football, rugby, and who want a competitive outlet, and they're involved in that. So again, it's a very good dynamic, and hopefully we'll be looking at expanding that to another day to include as many lads as possible. So again, I'd encourage you guys to keep your eye on the snippets when they come out, to try and avail of a place in one of the training sessions. Now, beginners, I have written there will be beginners groups running, hopefully one in the evening time and one over the weekend, but that's, as they say, to be confirmed. And the final one there is cardio tennis, which again is a session run by Adrian on a Thursday, where the group play tennis with music in the background, which to me is great. And many of the best players in the world train with music playing, and it certainly can help with players' rhythm. It can help with players' footwork. I know one person in the club. Again, I've told this story before, and I hope she doesn't mind mentioning her name, Frances Lockery. And I used her as a role model a lot. And a couple of years ago, Frances, we had a chat about movement in doubles and so on. And, we came to an agreed formula, which was that before a point started, Frances would think of a song in her head, and she'd sing that song. And to this day, she does it before every single point. So next time you watch Frances and you see her doing a little dance, she isn't going mad. She's actually singing. I think it's "Dancing in the Dark." Is that Bruce Springsteen? Yeah. Yeah, "Dancing in the Dark." So it's also imperative that you pick a song that is quick rather than a slow one. So kudos, Frances. So the cardio tennis is great for that. Now, we alluded to again earlier, technical profile, which again is part of a long-term plan and is part of goal setting. And it's part of the goal setting, but it's more the short-term goal setting, i.e., 6 to 12 weeks. So there's other profiles. And as we know, that there's 4 elements to a tennis player. There's the psychological, tactical, physical, and technical. So we're just looking at a technical profile here, because it's probably more measurable than the other ones. And this is how a technical profile is broken down. So it's broken into the 4 main shots that you play: forehand, backhand, serve, volley. So again, when we do a technical profile, or when you learn anything technically yourself, you need to understand tactically why, or a kid needs to understand tactically why they're employing or they're learning a particular technical action. Why am I hitting the ball with more, why am I trying to hit the ball with more spin on my forehand? Well, the tactical reason is to develop more consistency, all right? So the goal here is the first thing, and then the action steps to achieve that goal are come after. And here's the a sample technical profile. So let's have a look at the volley, okay? And again, the measurability is the time frame. So time frame, somebody we could be in, say, March, so this person has 8 weeks to get this right. The goal is to hit more, to be more aggressive on volleys, hit more volley winners. So the action steps are to move feet more, because the more you move your feet, the earlier you'll be able to contact the ball. The second thing would be I'll reduce my backswing, and that will help to have a contact point further in front of the body, which will again hit the ball harder. And again, the tension of the grip. If the ball received is in any way a hit with speed, the tension of the grip will produce more velocity. So I hope that's clear to people. There, just as we did with the junior coaching schedule, there's at the moment the senior coaching schedule. So as I said, we're hoping to expand that to include as many players as possible. Okay, and as I said, get involved with others, because what we need to do as players to stay motivated is to have some sort of competition. We need to play as many different people as possible. We need to be creative in practice. For example, let's play a set where we have to stay inside the baseline for the whole set. Let's play a set where we only have one serve. Let's play a set where I have to go to the net after my first serve. So if we're creative, we play against different people, we have competition, it motivates us, and it also improves us as tennis players. So I'm hoping that there'll be more sort of slots available than you see there in the coming months. And again, these are the various leagues that the club is involved in. As again we mentioned there earlier, there's four. I said three. There's four main leagues: summer, flooded, winter, senior. There's blue and gold league, which are on for, I think it's about 5 weeks. March, April. They're played on a Friday night. The open tournaments they're not going on at the moment, but hopefully by next summer they'll be going on. So I'd encourage people to play open tournaments. There's lots of tournaments within a very short distance of here, and they're great fun. And some of them are very social, and they're well worth entering, because you're playing in different environments against different people, and that can only be good. And then our own internal events, the handicaps and the championships. So finally, again, to parents, speak to your coach, speak to me about, the profiling, the goal setting, because these things are the key to progress. So, and again, for seniors as well, having a profile, having goal setting, this is the key to progress, and it makes things more interesting. You're taking you're taking responsibility for your own actions. And I'd encourage anybody, any parents, or anyone in the club to contact me to talk further about this. And I've no problem at all helping you guys develop a goal setting a sheet for yourselves. I've no problem doing technical profiles for you. And once a technical profile is done, especially with the juniors, any of the coaches can then implement that, and it makes the job of the coaches easier as well. And it makes the job of the parents easier. If you're out hitting with young Mary or young Johnny, you know what to say to them because it's there in black and white on the profile. And just on that point, you'll probably notice in the club that some of the best players, junior-wise, are the ones who play with their parents. So you guys get out there and hit tennis balls with your kids, because the more balls you hit with them, the better they get. It's as simple as that. And the better they get, the more they enjoy it. Okay, I hope you guys found that in some way informative, and I look forward to hearing your feedback and seeing you all on the courts very soon. And thanks a million to Helen and Owen and Johnny also for showing me
Showing me the computer.
how to use the computer.
Well done, SOS. Well done.
Thanks,
Stephen, that was excellent. Thank you so much. It was a great interview. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks very much, folks. And as I said, we'll send the slides through tomorrow through the snippets. Anyone's got any questions, get in touch with myself or Stephen, or send a mail into Judy. And enjoy your tennis.
Well done,
Thank you
gang.
so much, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.